Think about the last time you woke from a vivid dream. For a moment, just a moment, you weren't sure where you were. Which world was the real one? That feeling of uncertainty, that brief, disorienting gap between sleep and waking, is one of the oldest and most important moments in philosophy. Because it asks a question most of us file away and forget. How do you actually know you are awake right now? Not as a clever philosophical trick. As a genuine question about the nature of your experience, your identity, and everything you take for granted about who you are. A Chinese philosopher asked this question around 300 BCE and gave an answer so elegant it has never been improved upon. This is where curiosity meets truth. Zhuangzi, also known as Zhuangzi, lived around 369 to 286 BCE during China's Warring States period, an era of extraordinary political turbulence and equally extraordinary intellectual flourishing. He was the second great figure of Taoism after Laozi, author of the Tao Te Ching. Where Laozi was cryptic and minimalist, Zhuangzi was playful, paradoxical, and frequently hilarious. His philosophical method was storytelling, not argument, not systematic logic. Stories and parables that worked on the reader like Zen koans, cracking open assumptions rather than replacing them with new ones. He refused government positions when offered them, preferring poverty and philosophical freedom to institutional power. He compared accepting high office to being a sacrificial ox, well-fed and adorned right up until the moment you're needed for the altar. And his magnum opus, a text simply called the Zhuangzi, is considered one of the greatest works of world literature. Not just philosophy, literature. The butterfly dream is the final story in chapter 2 of that text. And it takes 35 words to ask a question that 2,300 years of philosophy has not exhausted. But here's where it gets truly interesting. Once upon a time, I, Zhuangzi, dreamt I was a butterfly. Fluttering and dancing in the air, I was happy with myself, doing just as I pleased. I didn't know I was Zhuangzi. Suddenly I woke up, and there I was, solid and unmistakable, Zhuangzi again. But I didn't know. Was I Zhuangzi who had dreamed he was a butterfly? Or am I now a butterfly dreaming I am Zhuangzi? Between Zhuangzi and the butterfly, there must be some distinction. This is called the transformation of things. 35 words. Possibly the most compressed philosophical thought experiment ever written. Notice what Zhuangzi is not saying. He is not saying everything is an illusion. He is not saying reality doesn't exist. He is saying something more subtle and more unsettling. That the boundaries we draw between states of being, between dream and waking, between self and world, between who you are now and who you might become, are less fixed than we assume. If this is already shifting something, you know what to do. Subscribe button is right there. The transformation of things is the key to understanding what Zhuangzi is really arguing. The universe for Zhuangzi is in constant flux. Nothing is permanently fixed. Everything transforms into everything else. A caterpillar becomes a butterfly, a seed becomes a tree, a child becomes an adult. A grieving person becomes someone who has learned to carry grief differently. You are not always who you are today. You will not always be who you are today. The identity you're so certain of, the roles, the opinions, the preferences, the stories you tell about yourself, these are not a fixed essence. They are the current configuration of something that is always in motion. This is why the butterfly question matters. The man and the butterfly are not fundamentally different entities with one real and one illusory. They are two configurations of the same transforming process. And the anxiety most people feel about who they are, who they're becoming, who they're supposed to be, dissolves somewhat when you genuinely accept that the self is not a fixed object to be discovered or protected. It is a process, always becoming, never finished. This connects to everything we've explored on this channel. Kierkegaard said you do not find yourself, you choose yourself. Camus said the self is what you build through the act of revolt against meaninglessness. Zhuangzi goes further. The self is not a thing at all. It is a verb. Zhuangzi's second great concept is wu wei, often translated as non-action or effortless action. This is frequently misunderstood as passivity or giving up. It is the opposite. Wu wei means aligning your actions with the natural flow of things, acting without forcing, moving without friction, achieving without straining against what is actually happening. Think of water. Water doesn't force its way around a rock. It flows around it. It finds the natural path. It does not struggle against what is there, and yet water, over time, shapes the hardest stone. In a world that rewards hustle, constant optimization, the relentless forcing of outcomes, Zhuangzi is asking a different question. What if the things you are straining hardest to control are exactly the things that resolve most naturally when you stop forcing them? The relationship you can't make work despite trying everything. The creative block you can't push through. The anxiety you can't think your way out of, which connects directly to what we explored with ironic process theory. The harder you try to suppress something, the louder it gets. Zhuangzi understood this 2,000 years before Daniel Wegner put it in a laboratory. The butterfly dream is not an argument to be won or lost. It is an invitation to hold your sense of self a little more lightly, to notice that the boundaries between who you are and who you might be are more permeable than you've been told, to consider that the roles you inhabit, employee, parent, partner, achiever, failure, confident person, anxious person, are configurations, not definitions, and that the transformation happening in you right now, in this moment, is not something to resist or manage or optimize into compliance. It is simply what it means to be alive. Zhuangzi died around 286 BCE. His students wanted to give him an elaborate funeral. He refused. He said, "Heaven and earth are my coffin. The sun, moon, and stars are my jade and pearls. All creation will escort me to the grave. What more could I need?" His students said they were afraid the birds of prey would eat his body. He said, "Above ground I shall be food for crows and kites. Below ground I shall be food for worms. To take from one to give to the other. Why show such favoritism? Even in death, playful, paradoxical, completely at ease with the transformation of things." The butterfly had stopped wondering whether it was a man. Here is your question for the comments. What is one role or identity you've been holding on to so tightly that you've forgotten it's a configuration rather than a fixed truth about who you are? Drop it below. New Philosophy Explainer every Wednesday on Chasing Sunsets. Subscribe and hit the bell. Curious minds don't miss this one. This is where curiosity meets truth. See you next Wednesday.